I took the supermarket flowers from the windowsill. I threw the day-old tea from the cup. Packed up the photo album Matthew had made, memories of a life that's been loved. Took the get-well-soon cars and stuffed animals. Poured the old ginger beer down the sink. Dad always told me, don't you cry when you're down. But Mum, there's a tear every time that I blink. Oh, I'm in pieces, it's tearing me up. But I know a heart that's broke is a heart that's been loved. So I'll sing hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. When God takes you back, He'll say hallelujah, you're home. I fluffed the pillows, made the bed, stacked the chairs up. Folded your nightgowns neatly in a case. John said he'd drive, then put his hand on my cheek and wiped a tear from the side of my face. And I hope that I see the world as you did, 'cause I know a life with love is a life that's been lived. So I'll sing hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. And when God takes you back, He'll say hallelujah, you're home. Hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. You got to see the person I have become. Spread your wings and I know that when God took you back, He said hallelujah, you're home.
So I'm back through the velvet underground.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know, and including those that are joining us online, that we're a little bit delayed as we begin our smoking ceremony outside. So if you are online, just be patient. We won't be very far away. Thank you. And for those inside, if you want to take part, you can head out for that smoking. Thank you.
To the gypsy that I was. And it all comes down to you. Well, you know what it does. Lightning strikes faces freedom with a little fear. I have no fear, only love. And if I was a child, then the child was enough, enough to love, love. Ooh, ooh. She is dancing away from you now. She was just a wish. She was just a wish. And her memory is all that is left of her now. Lightning strikes, maybe once, maybe twice.
Early morning, there's a message on my phone. It's my mother saying, darling, please come home. I fear the worst, but how could you leave us all behind? There's so much to say, but there's so little time. So how do I say goodbye? Someone who's been with me for my whole damn life. You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. See your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye? When I couldn't, you always saw the best in me. Right or wrong, you were always on my side. But I'm scared of what life without you's like. And I saw the way she looked into your eyes. And I promise if you go, I will make sure she's alright. So how do I say goodbye? Someone who's been with me for my whole damn life. You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. See your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye? And there's no way you could ever let me down. Gonna steal some time and start again. You'll always be my closest friend. And someday we're gonna make it out. Just hold the light. Just hold the light high, high. So how do I say goodbye to someone who's been with me for my whole damn life? You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. I see your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye? So how do I say goodbye?
You get a fast car, I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. Yeah, but the bottle, that's the way it is. He says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. We go cruise and entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job. Now work in the market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast it felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills. Instead of drinking late at the bar, see more your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better. Thought maybe together you and me'd find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. Take your fast car and keep on driving. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so you can fly away? You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
Jalak Mule, Yaranyak, Faye Clark. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Faye Clark. Today is a celebration of the life of Jennifer Margaret Beer, nee Kennedy, and we are sharing the service via live stream and appreciate all who are joining us from around the country. Before we begin, could I ask you all to please check your phones if you have them and make sure that they are turned off or on silent throughout the service. It is my great pleasure to introduce her judgy, her older sister, Ngalangaruk Annie Marjorie Pickford, to provide us with a welcome to country today.
Stump Mirror, Naranek Marjorie, Watchabolik, Bar Jadwajali Laruk, Nangagik, Yapin, Manga Gep, late Richard Bar Doris Kennedy, Jap Jap, Jirik. I welcome you to the lands of the Watchabolik, Jadwa, Jadwajali, Wagaya and Japagol people. We respectfully acknowledge our ancestors and our elders that have passed by letting them know that many have travelled from neighbouring and distant Aboriginal lands to be here on country today. We respectfully acknowledge ancestors for protecting us on this journey to come here today to celebrate the life of Gutu, Gutu, Jaji, Barb, Naluk, Bar Gukwan, Jennifer Beer. What I've just said is my name is, good afternoon everyone. My name is Marjorie Pickford. I'm a Watchabolik and Jadwajali woman. I'm the firstborn daughter to Richard and Doris Kennedy. And I've said that Jennifer was a younger sister, an older sister, a mum, an auntie, and a grandmother. Nakanuna, Gutu. See you later.
Doki dok. Thank you, Nalanguruk, Ani Marjorie. Dalki, Malamia, Napa, Bagon, Bagukwan, Bamim. Dalki, Napa, Bagagon, Bagukwan, Bamim. Dalki, Naranbin, Baguyapigali, Guli. I too would like to acknowledge our ancestors and pay respects to elders, past and present, and to all elders and First Peoples gathered here with us and online. We're lucky to be able to tread in their footsteps and continue their aims to make things better for future generations and for our country. I also acknowledge other mobs who have come to pay their respects to Auntie Jenny and be there to support her family. Thank you also to our allies who may be here, people who've worked with Auntie Jenny or came to know her through her connections with both Ballarat and Horsham, and through her advocacy at a state level, and to those supporting her family. We're going to begin our service today with a presentation of photos accompanied by the song Everglow by Coldplay. One more.
They say people come, they say people go. This particular diamond was extra special. And though you might be gone, and the world may not know, still I see a celestial. And I should, but I can't let it go. But when I'm cold, yeah, when I'm cold, ever glow. Like brothers in blood, or sisters who ride. Yeah, we swore on that night we'd be friends till we died. But the changing of winds and the way waters flow, life is short as the falling of snow. And I'm gonna miss you, I know. But when I'm cold and won't grow, so I know you're always with me, and the way you will show, and you're with me wherever I go. And you give me this feeling, this everglow. What I wouldn't give for just a moment to hold, because I live for this feeling, this everglow. So if you love someone, you should let them know. Oh, the light that you give me will ever glow.
We hope you enjoyed those photographic memories, and as we provide her service today, I'm sure you'll be reminded of so many more precious moments with Auntie Jenny. As I said at our opening, Naranyek Faye Clark, which is my name, and I've been asked by Nalanguruk Auntie Jenny's family to conduct her service today as their celebrant. Nalanguruk is a term that translates to everyone's auntie in Wagaya language, so you may hear me use that as a term of respect for her throughout today. I'm fortunate to have known Nalanguruk Auntie Jenny for a long time, as well as many of her family. For those that don't know me, I'm a Jilgua Layaruk Watchabulakan, a proud Watchabulik woman, as well as Gunditjmara and Ngarrindjeri. I'm very honoured to have been asked to conduct her service today, as she's one of our highly respected elders of the Watchabulik Nations, who has left this earth to return to spirit and the ancestors. So this is a very important ceremony today to acknowledge the life she lived and the dedication to her tireless work so that all of us may benefit. As a student of Auntie's legacy in the language space, Giyungan Wagaya, I will speak Wagaya language throughout the ceremony here and there. I am still a novice, but I believe it's important to use language as much as possible today. After all, Dalkaya, Nyerninya, Narimbin, it is good that the ancestors will hear us as they welcome Nalanguruk home. We hope that you signed the memorial pages on the way in today. That will be a really cherished reminder for the family of all who attended to show their respect to their mum and grandmother. Auntie Jenny's family have arranged for a bookmark, which we hope that you've picked up on the way in, and that mentions some quotes she often said, and we hope that you will be able to keep that as a memento of today and a reminder of the lessons that she imparted with those words. Today's service will give us the opportunity to share Auntie Jenny's story, but also highlight some of that wonderful pioneering work that she undertook that has created important outcomes for our mobs. We'll share what she has meant to her family, her children and her friends, and we've invited some people to provide a tribute for her today. So we'll be hearing from her Gutu, younger sister, Nalanguruk Auntie Sue, who will speak on behalf of the Kennedy family. Friend and colleague, Uncle Rodney Carter, and her friend and family, Nalanguruk Auntie Pamela Branson, and her Mangep daughter, Katrina. The Watchabollock dancers will perform in honour of Auntie Jenny, along with her daughters, Tracy, Katrina, and their family. And of course, you may have already had the opportunity to take part in the smoking as you came in by Farron Branson, and you'll have the opportunity to return at the end of the service as well. As we escort Auntie Jenny from the hall, the dancers and the family will form a guard of honour for her as a Wakaya chant is sung. The words will be on the screen and a recording will be played to follow along. So Dolki Dolk, thanks to Kylie Kennedy. And there is a card being handed out for you to follow along. The chant was created by Kylie's Wakaya language Guli or class, and it's called Returning to the Dreaming. So we'd love for you all to join in. Auntie Jenny will be having a private cremation, so we'll leave from here today in the hearse. So for those wanting to have the chance to say their own personal farewell, you will be able to do so before the hearse leaves. And afterwards, everyone is invited to come back into the foyer here for afternoon tea and refreshments and the chance to catch up with family and each other. Auntie Jenny's family was central to who she was. She was a much loved and adored mother, Buppy or Mama Bear, to her Mangep daughters, Tracy, Melissa, Katrina, and her Wodjip sons, Quentin and Jacob. She's a dearly loved grandmother, Gukwan, to Cara Lee, Aaron, Sam, Rachel, Jasmine, Riley, Natalie, and Lucas. She was a proud great-grandmother or Big Nan to Courtney Lee, Ethan, Seth, and Mia. The family relied on Big Nan for her steady guidance, her wise advice, and her love and support throughout each of their lives. And today, on behalf of everyone here, we want to extend our deepest sympathy on your loss and wrap you in the warmth of everyone's love for you to make this day just a little bit more bearable. We also extend our condolences to Auntie Jenny's Kennedy family through their partners and her Gitchawil of many Manguruk nieces and Bangep nephews, and kinship way, her Mangep and Wodjip, her sister's children. Auntie Jennifer Margaret Kennedy Beer was born in Ballarat on the 12th of April 1955. Her parents, Uncle Richard and Auntie Dorothy, or Doris Kennedy, were living at Purapura at the time, which is near Derranallum. One of 9, her older siblings were Marjorie, Richard and Beverly, and her younger siblings, Eddie, Val, Peter, Susie and Kayleen. Her sister Bev recalls that Jenny was always the strong one. Uncle Richard was a railway worker, a jack of all trades and very skilled, working his way up to becoming a manager. Auntie Doris worked during the early part of her life, but with 9 children, her work was cut out for her, and so she was a homemaker. The family moved to Burrumbeet, which is where Jenny went to school, later catching the school bus to take her to Ballarat East High for her secondary schooling. She was best friends with Marlene Pearson at school, and the family recall hearing of a story where Jenny and Marlene ended up setting the pine plantation at the back of the school on fire. Probably wagging to smoke was everyone's suspicion. The family later moved into Ballarat, into Lygar Street, which remained the family home for many years, and further generations of children who came to stay with Uncle Richard and Auntie Doris. Her first job was for Coronet Caravans in Ballarat, making the curtains and cushion covers. Her work in Aboriginal education began in 1984 with a short stint at the School of Mines, Ballarat, as the Aboriginal Liaison Officer. In the early 1980s, she joined as a member of what is now VAI, the Victorian Aboriginal Education Association Incorporated, which started out to build an advocacy voice for Koori communities across Victoria. Auntie Jenny started work as a Koori educator in Ballarat for both primary and secondary schools, moving to Horsham in 1996 in the same kind of role. Auntie Jenny had begun her own teacher training by this time, but something big was happening around then with the possibility of claiming native title for the ancestral lands of her family. So Auntie Jenny took leave from her study to begin the huge amount of work that needed to be completed to get this over the line. Auntie Jenny was proud to walk together with her family, Uncle Jack Kennedy, her brother Peter, along with other community members to seek recognition of the clans of the Watchabollock Nations through native title. Auntie Jenny meticulously studied the 3 acts that would be underlying their claim, and when listening to all the lawyers was able to match their knowledge with insightful questions. She was not afraid to tackle them with her own words or with their own words, and had a way of just letting people talk and then questioning them or stating her opinion with maximum effect. The claim was successful after 10 years of persistence and hard work, with the recognition of the Watchabollock, Jadwa, Jadwa-Jali, Wakaya and Jopagog peoples in the decision made on the 13th of December 2005, the Native Title Consent Determination, and the subsequent establishment of Barangigadjin Land Council the following year. Auntie Jenny served on the board more years than not, representing her Kennedy family. BGLC are about to celebrate 20 years of native title recognition next weekend, a wonderful achievement as the first successful native title claim in southeastern Australia. And it's very sad that Auntie Jenny could not witness this wonderful milestone. Auntie Jenny was passionate about culture, and an integral part of that is to have a language. Auntie Jenny was tireless in her persistence to have the Wakaya language revived, and along with many others, including several of her family members. Their contributions helped pave the way for others like myself to have a Wakaya community grammar and dictionary, and a real momentum for people to use their mother tongue. Creating an education course for the recovery of Wakaya language as part of her legacy. It wasn't an easy path, and at times she felt stressed out, but she never let that stop her. She had a philosophy about moving mountains and not wasting energy going around them. But I have skipped ahead, as there was a lot more to her life throughout these years, so let's return to the parts about her family. In 1972, as a young woman, her and her judgy, older sister Beverly, were walking along Bridge Street, Ballarat. A car cruised by with a young Graham Beer and his mate in tow. The fellas noticed the pair and presumably yelled out, to which the girls responded, "If you're from Ballarat, we don't want to know you." The lads, of course, lied and said, "Nah, we're from Colac." The lucky timing for both resulted in Jenny and Graham going out together, which eventually turned into family and marriage in that order. They were delighted to bring their first daughter into the world, Tracy, in 1972. Melissa arrived in 1978, and then, whilst pregnant with Katrina, Jenny gave Graham an ultimatum to be married before the baby's arrival, marrying in the Ballarat Registry Office in the December of 1980, and Katrina was born in the January of 1981, making a timely arrival. With 3 girls already, they were lucky to be then blessed with Quentin in 1987 and Jacob in 1988. Life was not always an easy ride, and Graham and Jenny struggled along, splitting up around the end of 1989 or 1990. Life took a further downturn with the tragic death of their daughter Melissa, or Missy, in 2003. Missy's daughter Rachel, who'd been living with Tracy, came into the care of her grandmother Jenny from the age of 8 and remained with her ever since. Rachel was given all the love and support that she needed from her nan and the family as a child with special needs. She was supported to attend special school, and the family was so proud to be present for her graduation when she finished. Rachel and her grandmother went everywhere together. and it was Auntie Jenny's biggest responsibility to arrange for her care beyond what she could provide, which saw them organise suitable accommodation for her in residential care before Auntie Jenny passed. Auntie Jenny was proud of each of her children and their achievements, carrying on the legacy in education. Tracy, in Auntie Jenny's previously held job as a career educator, and Katrina, heading up the Aboriginal Education Unit for Federation University. Quentin has an amazing talent at being able to put his mind to anything and teach himself how to do it. One time he bought 2 BMW cars, using one for parts, swapped the motors and rewired it all by himself. He's also a whiz with computers, and Jacob works in civil construction, travelling the country with his national role. But their path to the success was not always smooth either. The girls remember being buggers as teenagers, trying to outsmart or outrun their mother. But she was no fool, and when Katrina was getting into trouble and smartly retorted, "What are you going to do, chase me?" her mother would respond with, "Well, you have to come home for tea, and don't worry, I won't forget." The girls described their mum as a flying thong kind of mum, and we all know about them ones, hey? No one could pull the wool over her eyes. They remember some of their adventures, like driving around Enfield State Forest on one of their mystery tours, becoming lost with only a quarter of a tank of petrol left, finding themselves perilously close to a cliff before Kat says, "We better not keep going, Mum." They were regular visitors to the Horsham fishing comps and enjoyed day trips to Blue Waters for a swim. The kids grew up, and as they look back, they can see the wisdom and lessons of their mum, coming to rely on her for advice. Tracy says that if she had anything she needed to know, her first thought was, "Mum will know," and hop on the phone or call around to ask. When Katrina felt overwhelmed and defeated, feeling like she just couldn't do something, she remembers her mum literally picking her up and telling her that she could do it. When they asked for advice, she would give them options, telling them it was up to them to choose and live with the consequences of their decision. She wouldn't make the decision for them, despite sometimes that being exactly what they wanted, was for their mum to tell them just what to do. Her mantra in raising children was always, "Love is the child of freedom, not domination." It's these moments that remind them of how much support their mum gave them. For Quentin, he was incredibly grateful for his mother's unconditional love and complete acceptance of who he is. And for Jacob, he and his mother had a great relationship, full of banter, jokes and laughter. One year, he dressed up in a tutu and had a photo taken just to give it to her for Mother's Day. "Big Nan was fun, making jokes all the time and making them laugh," said Seth. Her family came first. When Aaron was carrying on at age 14, she pulled him up quick smart, and he later talked about how she was the female that he was most scared of. She was an adventurer too, going skydiving, hot air ballooning for her 60th, and going parasailing with both Tracy and Katrina. She genuinely loved life and enjoyed making people happy. She was so excited to take her daughter Tracy on a trip to Hamilton Island, but set her up with a surprise text first, telling her that she'd won a trip to the island. Tracy just thought it was a scam and ignored the message, only to have her mother have to check that she actually got the message. The greatest joy of the trip, I think, was the surprise that the gift would give Tracy. She loved her large family and played an important role for everyone in the Kennedy family too. Her cultural knowledge was invaluable, having studied her Cert 4 in Cultural Heritage and studying a diploma in Natural Resources Management. She went out on country and through her work with BGLC was able to learn all our Dreamtime stories and was the holder of family tree knowledge. She was an advocate that people should be allowed to come home to country and reconnect, and was adamant that no one was to be left behind. She always kept her eye on the future with any decisions that she was involved in, making sure she considered what it would be like when we're all gone. Auntie Jenny was generous with her time and would advocate for anyone in the community who needed help. She had a good knowledge of the systems that people come up against and would be able to help people navigate that or stick up for them when they needed extra support. Her home was open to anyone who needed a bed, and they welcomed family from both the Kennedy and the Beer side when they needed a place to stay. She developed a lovely friendship with Rachel's carer, Elaine, later calling on her to care for herself as her health deteriorated. Elaine would come around on a Thursday and do a big cook-up for them, and the friendship went both ways, with Auntie Jenny and Rachel providing a source of support for Elaine too. Auntie Jenny made friends wherever she went. Her work on many boards and committees allowed her to meet people right across Victoria, and it was not uncommon for people to come up and give her a hug at any event that she attended, especially lots of young ones who called her Mama Jen. There was a lot of respect for her in the community and around the state. When she was considering matters of importance, she went with the proviso that it needed to benefit community. There must be reciprocity. What benefits me benefits community, and what benefits community benefits me. And she was annoyed by selfishness. Auntie Jenny's footprints are everywhere, too numerous to cover them all, but some of the achievements are her work with the Victorian Aboriginal Heritage Council, special recognition at the recent Warwicker Awards from VAI. She was the cultural advisor working on the project to have her great-great-grandfather, Youngan Jinanyuk, his picture painted on the silo in Horsham, and a plaque about his renowned role in finding the lost Duff Cooper children, which was installed near Nadamak. Along with her brother Richard, they were instrumental in retrieving Uncle Johnny Muller's traditional shield. Uncle Johnny Muller was famous for his tour of England with the Indigenous cricket team, and it's told that this shield was even taken on tour with him. He ended up living on a farm with a family once he returned to Australia, and the shield was handed down through their family upon his passing. They contacted the Kennedys to arrange its return, and Uncle Richard and Auntie Jenny were fortunate to be able to collect it. It is an artefact of significant historical importance. I'd now like to invite Nalangaruk Auntie Sue Allengame to come up and talk on behalf of the family.
So, a few words about Jennifer, Tat's sister, Auntie Jen. Jennifer achieved so much in her lifetime: native title, regeneration and revival of our language, and being a mother. Jen was one not to mix words, she told you straight. And I want you to take a moment to think about Jennifer, what she meant to you. To me, she was my sister, my role model, my mentor, would listen, would give advice, share her knowledge, 1 teaspoon at a time, share our language, support you when she can. Jen, we are so proud of you being our sister, mentor, role model, cultural guide and support, and mother to many. One of the stories that my sister Val wanted to say was the good old times when they used to go down to the Burrumbeet Lake to go for a swim, and they would stop off along the way to pick the mulberries and the almonds, you know, climbing up there, making sure they didn't fall off and don't fall out of the tree. And then Kayleen, the youngest sister, wanted to mention, you were my go-to person. I could ring you, sis, in the day or late at night, any time really. When I needed you to answer my many questions, you were always there for me. I miss you. So who do I go to now? And the other thing is your time now, sis, to rest with mum, dad, aunties and uncles and brother in the dream time, sis. Nakanya.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on Uncle Rodney Carter.
I personally, amongst many others, is fortunate for who and what Aunt Jenny is. Many years ago, when native title became of interest in the state of Victoria, some of our people stood up and advocated for a voice, for justice, where our ancestors, as we know as mob, were disrespected. They weren't honoured in their associations, their connections with country. And Aunt Jenny understood that very clearly, so I was fortunate to be on an opposing negotiating team and was able to, at a very early stage in my life, see the strength that she had through her connection with her elders' wisdom, that ancestral knowledge that sometimes, if we are prepared to listen, learn from others and gather that knowledge like a weaver, like a craftsperson, you bring that together for a greater good. And fortunately, as the Watchabolic people, amongst the other groups in the Wimmera and Southern Mallee, you've got some sort of justice. But for Aunt, I think, and from what you've heard with the eulogy, it wasn't about it's never enough. It was about how could I practically apply my usefulness. And again, we were able to sit at a table with the Victorian Aboriginal Heritage Council, and those private deliberations that a group of the state's traditional owners are faced with and challenged with, we were all the better for Aunt's contributions to those confidential deliberations. And today you see in rights justice a number of First Nations traditional owner groups being able to enjoy greater than ever a connection with country. And finally, our paths were to officially cross again, where myself as the First Peoples Assembly of Victoria Elders Voice co-chair, Aunt Jenny wasn't finished, and we know how unwell she has been over the last few years, but she still wanted to give more. She wanted to give her all, and so she is now historically part of the first collective group representing the elders' voice in the state of Victoria, and through her pain she participated, she contributed to the end, and we couldn't be more grateful for her, more honoured from her contributions. And as the young people grow up, speaking more language than ever that you know that she loves so much, they'll grow into becoming their own elders, and I'm sure that they'll be able to hear the whispers of Aunt Jenny's wisdom amongst the other elders. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Nalanguruk Auntie Pamela Branson.
On behalf of my children and their late father, Peter Kennedy, aka Boris, We acknowledge and pay our deepest sincere sympathy and deepest respect to the siblings and the families here today. More importantly, with our sincere, deepest love to your beautiful children, Tracy, Katrina, Quinton, Jacob, and Missy, of course. Auntie Jenny, you were a proud Indigenous woman. You have and will always be in the hearts and spirits of our auntie mother figure in our lives, which we will always mean, and we mean always mean and hold you close to our hearts and spirits forever. You was always there for good times, bad times and challenging times. With all our deepest love and never, never forgotten, our beautiful auntie, love Farron, Peter, Kayla, Demi and Claudie. What I thought and loved about you, feeling totally blessed to have you as my sister-in-law. You shined with amazing and beautiful qualities, strength, resilience and pride, caring, compassionate and loyal. What I myself absolutely loved about you, Jenny, you was never judgmental, and I mean she was never judgmental. You never let anyone break your spirit. Rest in peace. Fly high with Bunjil at your side and keep on shining bright. Please give Boris the biggest hug and love from the kids, the grannies, and me too, please. I just wanted to share something that I haven't written down, but Jenny had this aura about her, and I'm sure everyone here knew that she gave what she gave. She was always there through the good times and bad times. She became a bit of a, when I was going through my really hard time surrounding my mother's murder, she became my counsellor. She became a doctor. She became my dysentery through the challenging times of wanting to seek revenge. But you know what? She got me through those tough times, and I can't thank her enough. What an amazing woman she was. So, Nakan Yamamini, Babu Deadly, Anna.
And now I'd like to call on her mum, Katrina. And Tracy, yeah.
Dark Mo, Naringa Katrina Neri, by Jajiak Tracy Neri, Wutabarik Lauru, Gulang, Gian Nungu Tak Wargauku, Yuruk, Ngau Jenny Papanunguruk, Bolichi Mangap. My name is Katrina Bear, and this is my sister Tracy. We are proud Watchabolik women and speak our language Wargaya, and we are two of Nyalak Jenny's daughters, and are speaking for our Gub Gub Deer, our family and our gurus. Younger brothers, Quinton and Jacob. Writing this was so hard. How do you sum up a person you love so much and a life so full in a couple of minutes? I came to the conclusion it's not possible, but it can only be a glimpse. Everyone will have many different stories to share, things that we knew and others we have no knowledge of. When we were yarning, one of the things we recognised that it was hard growing up was sharing our mama. She had so much love to give, and as she would say, enough to go around for everyone. And I think a lot of people in this room would agree. If I could sum up Mama in a couple of words, I would say she was wise, kind, colourful, bright, smart, fierce, and most of all quirky. She would often remind us that life would be pretty straight without twisties. Throughout Mum's life, there was many ups and downs, and she would often say, we can't have the good without the bad. But every time she got knocked down, she'd get back up, never afraid to take on the next challenge. She never really cared for materialistic things and valued people more. She taught us to remember who we are and to be strong in culture. And I remember being very little, and she would get me to rub my belly, and she would help me to learn to say, "What's your belly?" And to start off with, it was, "What's your belly?" We grew up on Mum's quotes, and a lot of these shaped our lives, shaped my life. And one that stands out for me, which I thought about a lot over the years, is, if you're happy in your own shit, don't squeal. Meaning if something wasn't right and you had the power to do something about it, then you needed to take action. And if you're not going to do anything about it, well, then don't squeal. And another one that was taught to her by Jerry Egan, you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. She lived for future generations and would say, what does this look like in 50 years or 100 years? That this wasn't about us in the here and now, but future generations, her grandkids and her great-grandkids. What do we need to do now in order to protect our culture, language and futures? Bapa Nanguruk Mamam Nyalak was inspirational to us as a family, as individuals and a community. She taught us the importance of always coming back home, and I remember many trips back to country to come and see Uncle Nook. We'd have to bring 2 packs of minties, one for us and one for Uncle Nook's horse. We'd often stir her about who her favourite child was, and she was adamant she didn't have any favourites, that she loved us all equally. And I stirred her up one night and I said, "Come on, Mum, everyone knows that I'm your favourite." She said to me, "The others might think that, but it's not true." And I said, "It doesn't matter, Mum, as long as they think it." That's all that matters. Mum had a wicked sense of humour and was known to tell tall tales, which earned her the name of Tats after Uncle Jackie Tats. She jokingly told me that she went to Tassie for 2 years, but this was only for a week or 2. But it was at the end of the year, and then she was there for the new year. Did you want to talk about it, how she sent you the text message, or you want me to keep going? Yeah, you sure? Yeah. I was lucky enough to be able to go to Hamilton Island with Mum for Auntie Kay's birthday, and Mum and I went parasailing. Auntie Val told me to make sure that Mum went on the bottom of the tandem, and little did she know the boat would slow and drop the lower person into the water, and so Mum got dunked. The second trip to Hamilton Island for Auntie Val's birthday was meant to be only Tracy, but I was fortunate enough to go again. This time Mum was ready for the parasailing, and she teed up for Tracy to go down the bottom of the tandem, and she kept on telling me not to tell Trace, but the joke was on her, as it ended up not being a tandem, but a side-by-side, and so they both got dunked. I think I laughed the hardest. Mum was fiercely independent and had a strong sense of pride. She taught us to be the same. She raised a family of 5 on her own. She worked, studied, and was Bob the Builder around the house. Mum even got her truck licence and could reverse a trailer better than most. She was like that up to the very end, quite often refusing to hop into the wheelchair, opting to walk instead, and would say that she needed the exercise. Mum had an extensive bucket list, and most she was able to tick off, including going skydiving at 14,000 feet with Jazzy for her 60th birthday. She wanted to travel around Australia in a Winnebago, but put this on hold to look after Rachie. Both Mum and Rachel were like peas in a pod, who loved each other so very much. Rachie very much became her life as she dedicated to making sure she had everything she needed. Mum even learnt sign language, and she would often joke with Rachie about her pretend monsters. "Chucky, chuck him out the window," she would say. She loved and was loved by all her grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Cara, Aaron, Rachel, Jazz, Sam, Riley, Lucas and Natalie, Courtney, Ethan, Seth and Mia, and was loved by all her nieces and nephews. She was often called Nasty Nana or Big Nan. She was tough, but she was so kind and gentle. Her home was always open to us and others, and I remember she had us all back under her roof at one point or another, which I'm sure she would roll her eyes out, as another quote she had up in the kitchen when we were teenagers was, "Quick, move out while you still know everything." I guess we realised we didn't know everything, and that's why we moved back home. Papananunga Mama Nalanak was a knowledge holder, often called for her knowledge of country, culture, family tree, and law. She often reminded me of the Gurungi Wurumu, the big powerful owl. She stood strong in her values and words of the wise. She never told us what to do, but talked us through our options and then would say, "You need to live with the consequences of your actions, either good or bad." She wore her integrity with pride, which was part of her very being, and believed in fairness. Papanananguruk, Mama raised us to be strong and independent, and one of the last things I told her was, "Mama, you raised us to be so strong when you pass, so that we would be able to keep going without you. But what you didn't teach me was how to live without my best friend." And she said, "This is something that I'll need to learn myself, that she can't teach me this. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet, but I know I have love in my sister, brothers, my children, aunts and uncles, cousins, family and friends. We all told you how much we loved you, and you would tell us that you loved us more. We will miss you every day, but know that you live within us all. Mama, please give our loved ones in the dreaming a hug for us, and an extra big one for Missy. You would say this isn't goodbye, but I'll knock on you later. Knock on you later, Mama. P.S. We love you more."
I'd like to play for you now a song that speaks to a philosophy that Jenny carried deep in her heart. It's about reflecting on the past, letting go with grace, and embracing the future with open arms.
On the wall, are whispering my name. They're holding on to stories that no longer have a place. It's easy losing hope when you're counting down the days, but I'll step into the great unknown with only love and grace. So while I still got time, I'll pick flowers in my mind. I'll be dancing with the embers as they're rising. Oh, while I still got time and there's wonders left to find, I'll be somewhere out there over the horizon. While I got time, while I got time. Blowing out, it's pushing at my back. The sand under my feet is slipping through this hourglass. And I never wanna leave, but I know that I can't stay. And there's a world beyond the ocean that is calling me away. So while I still got time, I'll pick flowers in my mind. I'll be dancing with the embers as they're rising. Oh, left to find. I'll be somewhere out there over the horizon while I got time, while I got time. No, this is not goodbye, it's not the end, it's till we meet again. Just step into the water and I'll always be standing right there with you. Oh, while I still got time, I'll pick flowers in my mind. I'll be dancing with the embers as they're rising. Oh, while I still got time and there's wonders left to find, I'll be somewhere out there over the horizon while I got while I got while I got time, while I got.
Who enjoyed it?
I think someone had a fun time.
There you go.
Do I have to move now?
You don't have to. I don't think I'm on the next load.
Oh, God. Oh,
Nice work, Jen.
thank you. I need to get up.
There you go.
Oh, God.
You did a great job, Jen. How was that?
Oh, fantastic.
She's a braver woman than me. Auntie Jenny was a fierce woman, not afraid of anything. She was courageous. She stood in a world of government people to fight for her Watchabollock nation. She taught her kids that if they could overcome their fears, they could face anything, and she lived by that. She was also incredibly stubborn, a trait of both her parents that it seemed she got a double dose of, but that held her in good stead at times. Auntie Jenny, we are thankful for all you gave to your family, your community, and for your contributions made for all First Peoples. Your life's purpose became your passionate work, and you dedicated yourself tirelessly to having our culture recognised and valued. Your voice was strong in ensuring that what you had to say was heard. You were admired for your courage, respected for your knowledge and your wisdom, and appreciated for your kindness, your care, your fun, and your wit. You inspired your family and others with your strength, your joy for life, and your fearlessness. There are many other people to thank for their contributions towards today. The family have been supported by many calls, visits, and thoughtful words over the past week or so, and while their mum was unwell. And in being able to conduct her service with respect for culture, they'd like to thank Farron Branson, Mikey Douglas, BGLC, Kylie Kennedy, and Tanisha Lovett and the Watchabollock dancers. I'd also like to thank Uncle Rodney Carter, Auntie Pamela Branson for their talks today, and Nalanguruk Marjorie for her welcome to country. In her final days, she tired, struggling with her sick body but sound of mind. She prepared her family, telling them it was time for her to go home. The last real thing that she told them was that she loved them. She knew her spirit would be freed, and that was what she wanted, to no longer be earthbound. Auntie Jenny wanted to be cremated so that even her body would be free. Her ashes would be scattered in the Wimmera River, Beringigadgin, just like her daughter Missy's ashes had been. So that is what the family will do when the time is right. and how poignant and appropriate that someone who fought so hard for her people will become part of the river that means so much to our people as it winds its way across our country. Ngālangaruk Jenny's footprints will join the tracks too. Now comes the time to offer words of committal for Jennifer. We commit your body to the elements and acknowledge that your spirit has gone with the full moon that occurred just days after your passing. Your earthly remains will be honoured first with the cleansing smoke of our fire today and the fire of cremation that will allow you to be returned to country here on Watchabolik lands. The Barenji Gadjin waters of the river will one day receive your ashes and become one with the country of your ancestors. Ngālangaruk Jenny, you will be dearly missed, forever loved and never forgotten. As her family said upon her passing, it feels like she'll be everywhere but nowhere. And perhaps there's an element of truth in that. Her footprints are everywhere in the things that she achieved, the stories she helped to pass on, the imprint on each of your lives. But she will no longer be that physical presence in your worlds. Her spirit will be everywhere but nowhere. She's now in the great cosmos, the stars with our ancestors that watch us over us every day, even when we can't see them. Ngālangaruk's message to her family was always, it's not goodbye, but see you later. Ngakanyanan, see you everyone. Our final tribute to Aunty Jenny is going to be performed with dance. The Watchabolik dancers will perform 3 dances. The first is called Connecting to Country, reminding us about seeing, looking, hearing and feeling country. Our second dance is called Returning to Country, acknowledging Auntie's return to the dreaming. And our third dance is a women's dance to be performed by her family called Gap Gap Juralayaruk. This dance will invite to the stage the women in her family, led by Tracy and assisted with Katrina, Kayla, Mia, Auntie Sue, Jasmine and Tanisha. Do I need to click forward? No. If we just call up the Watchabolik dancers, please. Yeah.
Hello everyone. I probably just also wanted to point out, although majority of us do make up Watchabolik Nations people, we don't refer us as the Watchabolik dancers, we're the Dalki Maruk dancers, meaning good spirit. Because once you have a good mind, good heart, you have a good spirit. So with our first dance, when we say Nyakakach, we're asking you to see country. Have a look, embrace it. When we say Nyurnakach, we're asking you to hear country, whether that be the birds flying around or the wind within the leaves. When we say Narupakach, we're asking you to smell country. Take a deep breath in. When we say Drungakach, we're asking you to feel country, whether that be the sun on your skin or the dirt beneath your feet. So we'll go with the first one.
Maluk Manakinachin, Wichiwachi Larata, Jachalangat, Jakarta.
If we could just thank the Dalkey dancers, thank you. So that brings us to the conclusion of our service today. Thank you all for your attendance and acknowledging how much it means to Auntie Jenny's family to have you here in person, and to those of you who are able to join online. Thank you so much for your time. We'll now prepare to escort Auntie Jenny from the chapel, and as she has taken on her onward journey. Once outside, you're welcome to return to the smoking ceremony, and following that, come back in for refreshments and the chance to catch up. But first, we'll prepare for the chant that will accompany her on the way out. If I could ask everyone to please stand and join with us in performing the Return to the Dreaming chant. You'll be assisted by this recording of her niece Kylie Kennedy and the words printed on the cards that you've been given. Some of you will have been given some clap sticks, but if you don't have them, please just join in and clap along with us. Just give them a moment to be ready. Do you want to hand them out? So feel free to take some clap sticks if there's some there. I might need to just move over a little bit. Is Lockie in the booth? Are you able to just click forward for me? There we go. And one more.
Winikinar, well, ya michena. Winikinar, well, ya michena. Winikinar, well, ya michena. Winikinar, well, ya michena. Wijiwangar yechichilanga. Wijiwangar yechichilanga. Wijiwangar yechichilanga. Wijiwangar yechichilanga. Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin. Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin. Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin. Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin. Winikinar, well, ya michena. Winikinar, well, ya michena. Winikinar, well, ya michena. Winikinar, well, ya michena. Wijiwangar yechichilanga. Wijiwangar yechichilanga. Wijiwangar yechichilanga. Wijiwanga richichilanga Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin Winikinar well ya michena Winikinar well ya michena Winikinar well ya michena Winikinar well ya michena Wijiwanga richichilanga Wijiwanga richichilanga Wijiwanga richichilanga Wijiwanga richichilanga Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin Ngarangilang yorwen gurak nyungin